Khan, hey, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kwakadash, Yahweh, who the word English calls God, Yahweh Shai, who the word English calls Jesus. I want to give a double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, who has taught me this truth. I want to give a peace and blessings to the Akim across the four corners of the earth who teach this truth and risk their life to do so. It's going to be a quick video. Lord, when the video is edifying, only I can get some in front of this video, quick video through the Spirit. Just want to grab a couple of precepts here in Michael 4. I did a video, what was that, yesterday or 2 days ago? I think it was the video yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, going into, or maybe it was the video before I did, I don't know. But one of the recent videos I had mentioned Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, and I read a couple verses in it. Basically going into, other nations following Jake, when Jake is in rulership and Jake is in power. Before that happens, we understand that this place has to be destroyed, right? But the Lord gave us mercy, man. For us to know the name of the Lord, which the Father name is Yahweh, the Son name is Yahweh Shai, okay? For the Lord to give us his name and his Son's name, so we could run into it, and Lord willing, we be safe, right? Lord, and when I say that, Lord willing, I'll be part of that number, the elect. I don't know if I am, but Lord willing, I am, man. But in these latter times, the scriptures say that the son of perdition will be revealed, right? The wicked, which is the so-called white man, and in the land of our captivities, we should remember ourselves, we are Israelites, the so-called black man, so-called Native American man, so-called Latino man and woman, right? Wherever we're at, regardless of where we're at, we're captive, okay? As a matter of fact, let's grab Ezekiel 36 right quick. I think it's here. Neither man. Son of man. According to the way. Right here, yep. This is Ezekiel 36 and 19. It says, and I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries. And us being scattered was really a curse, because we're not in the land. After 70 AD, which you could read about it, and you go into history, those Romans were putting us through hell, man. You know what I'm saying? And really, around that time, the majority of Jake that was in the land was of the southern kingdom, right? When you go into the book of Maccabees, right, it kind of, that was, I'm not saying northern kingdom wasn't there, but as a whole, northern kingdom had already came to the Americas, right? In second Esdras, or first Esdras, the 10th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, it goes into it. But, the southern kingdom was the last to leave the land, and we fled into different countries, right? Different spots. That's why, and it's real simple. That's why when you go to, when you look at West Africans and you look at East Africans, right? West Africans have a completely different look than East Africans, right? And quick testimony real quick. I had one of my friends in the world, man. He's from Ivory Coast, or Côte d'Ivoire, right, is what it's called, right? But Ivory Coast is how you say it in English. And his name is, everybody call him Salif. You know what I mean? Everybody call him Salif. And I was calling him Salif. He would never say his first name. But one day we was kicking it or whatever, and he had said his first name, but he said it in Paleo Hebrew, right? His first name is Dawudah, which is David in Paleo Hebrew. That's his real name, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because it's like he not in the truth or nothing like that, and he didn't even know he was an Israelite. But the simple fact that you have Jake over there speaking, or not speaking, but Jake over there that's naming their children in the Paleo Hebrew, okay? And they called him, it was either Salif or Dawood for short, right? But his first name, he pulled out his ID, and it was Dawudah, you know what I mean? And that was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of told him we told him he was an Israelite and stuff like that. You know, will he get it? You know, only the Lord knows. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show you that you have Jake over there in the west coast, the western part of Africa, right? Nigeria, Ivory Coast, you know what I'm saying? Ghana, right? Over there in those regions, right? And then I'm not saying you don't have Jake on the east, you know what I'm saying? You got Jake and you can Jake is scattered wherever, you know what I'm saying? But it's not really about a look thing, it's about a spirit thing. Okay, because you got Jakes that look like Edomites, you got Jakes that look like Ammonites, you got Jakes that look like Ishmaelites, you got Jakes that look like Moabites. You know what I'm saying? You got Jakes that look like Ammon, right? I remember the brother, and I mentioned this in another video, but the brother Tazaba had went to Japan, and he's mentioned the Japan niggas that's out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, they look like Ammon, but they Jake. You know, and they're it's a certain section. I forget what the brother said the name of the city was, but it's a certain section that they reside in. You know what I mean? And I think it's the slums, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I think it wasn't a good part of the city, you know, which is not far-fetched because we're under the curses, you know. But, you know, we're scattered, nonetheless, okay? Ezekiel 36:19, it says, "And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way, and according to their doings I judged them. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name, when they said to them, These are the people of the Lord Yahweh, and are gone forth out of the land." Hey, look, you know, Jake loved being subject underneath the heathen. The brother had played a video earlier today of this nigga, man. I think he, you know, got a little TikTok following. He black nigga beard, you know what I'm saying, where the MAGA hat and all that madness. You know what I'm saying? And he made a song, you know, about how powerful the white man is and why, you know, you should be in league with the white man and all that. But see, what I want to say to niggas that love the oppressor so much is that, hey, if this man was so great at ruling, if this man was so great at, you know, being in power, why is the earth in shambles? Right? We understand Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, so ain't no excuse. We understand who's ruling, right? Why is the earth in shambles, right? When you the World Economic Forum, they're talking about that they have to get control over nature because it's too much. It's not enough. Basically, it's not enough supply for the humans, all the humans on Earth, right? And you know, things are polluted, right? You know they're going to ration out basically things that the Lord gave us for free. They're going to ration it out to you. You know what I'm saying? They want control over the sake of rationing it out. You know what I mean? Ultimately, it's to put you, or ultimately it's to CHIP you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what all this is going to lead into. Okay, which is the mark, right? But see, when the righteous is ruling, you won't have any mishaps. You won't have any shortcomings in the earth because it's a certain way you're supposed to rule. It's a certain Esau don't keep the land Sabbath. You know how important the land Sabbath is? You got to give the land a break. Okay? But Esau don't keep the land Sabbath, man. Esau don't follow the laws of the Lord. You know? He don't follow them. When you read Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter, it gives you the whole breakdown of how these rulers, these wicked think, right? And what you niggas don't understand because you don't understand scriptures. I dare one of you niggas go read Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter, so you get the mind of the oppressor, okay? And then you will clearly understand why the earth is in shambles, right? This nigga was never supposed to rule in the first place, right? Base men are ruling the earth. The basis of men is ruling the earth. Why you think the women out of order? Why you think everything is out of course? Why you think everything fucked up, right? This man forwarded his rulership starting with a lie. The Renaissance was built off of a lie. This nigga, he rules through pseudoscience, man. This nigga lies, man. He puts it in the curriculum. You go in school, you learn. You're there all motherfucking day learning lies. Sure, you know, you learn how to add, subtract, multiply, all that, right? Numbers, this and that, geometry, algebra, certain shit about science, right? This and that, we'll do blase, blase. But when you go to that history class, man, oh, they do Jake so bad. Oh, they do Jake so. I got testimonies on that, man. They do Jake so bad, man. So bad, man. But it's a punishment for that. It's a punishment for you lying, thieving ass people. And it's a punishment for you niggas that want to join hand in hand with the wicked. Okay? You're going to be destroyed right along with them. Because you niggas are our enemies, man. 2/3. Hey, when a nigga got Stockholm Syndrome, that's a demon, man. And that's a demon I have yet to see come off a nigga. When a nigga love that white man, he love that white man. Oh, he love everything about him. This nigga's wicked. This nigga's evil. He's a curse of the earth, man. Fuck you mean you love the white man, man? Nigga, all this shit is in shit. This nigga is chaos around this bitch, man. Fuck you talking about, man? Women are out of order. Children are out of order. The food fucked up. The water polluted. Everything is mourning, man. Fuck you mean you love a white man, man? You niggas don't know nothing, man. You niggas is stupid, man. This is Ezekiel 36 and I'll go to 20 again. It says, and when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name. How do we how? Because, we did whatever the heathen did, right? But it's a remnant that came out of that, which is the elect, okay? Grapes that were kept. Then you got these wild grapes, these niggas that love the heathen, man, okay? Let me jump down to 21, Salak. It says, but I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I do this not for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. And the Lord is going to show the world, the universe, how great he is. You know what I'm saying? In his second Exodus, because, we are in modern day Egypt, right? You understand that, right, nigga? We are in captivity. Yeah. God, so like, man, I'm outside in the truck, man. It's dark out here, and it'd be hella like, just, so it'd be people walking sometimes and shit. Like, it's just dogs and shit running around. Like, you definitely got to keep your head on the swivel around this bitch, man. This is Micah 4:1. It says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it. Now look, it says the same thing as in Isaiah the 2nd chapter, right? Isaiah 2:2. Okay, it says the same exact thing. What are the mountains and hills represent? Mountains and hills is different bodies of government. Mountains are bigger than hills. That mountain is going to be Israel, that government, right? And those hills are going to be basically the other nations coming and following us, okay, and living by our laws, which the laws of the Lord, okay, which we're going to police the universe with it, right? You got the house of David, which is the elect, is going to run things in its proper order, okay? And if you got an issue with that, then so be it. We're going to see who got an issue in these times to come. We're going to see. All you niggas who love the oppressor and the heathen and want to be the heathen, especially fucking women, in the time to come, right, we're going to see, right, when you see how godless these heathens are, when you see how devilish, and when Esau the horn start poking out his head, and you really see how twisted his mind is, you niggas gonna well understand. Oh, then you gonna see what we've been saying, man. That's when Wisdom of Solomon, was that the 5th chapter or the 3rd chapter on coming, where it says, what have our vaunting profited us? We have erred from the way of truth, right? We have not known it, for the way of the Lord we have not known it. They ain't know it. me read to it. It says, and many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, into the house of the Most High, power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem. Okay? And I could keep reading, but it kind of like 3 says the same thing. You go back to Isaiah the 2nd chapter and read, and Isaiah 60 and 10, you go to that as well. And it basically goes into, us putting the other nations into captivity, basically. Okay, so you niggas that want to join hand in hand with the oppressor so bad, right? He's still going to be destroyed. It don't matter, right? You want to join hand in hand with the oppressor so bad, just understand that his so-called kingdom is falling, and the Israelite kingdom is going to rise as soon as this kingdom fall. Okay, and you niggas that can't get it, and niggas that won't get it, niggas that that dislike the knowledge or dislike the prophets of the Lord, man, you're gonna be shamed. Okay, you're gonna be shamed, man. Okay. So with that, man, loading the videos edifying. This is a quick video. Loading the videos edifying. Only I can got something from this video. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. From brothers, keep pushing on to the next. Shalom.